Thank you, and welcome. Friends and family, my name is Sheila McKinnon. I'm one of the ministers here at Broadview, and it is an honor for me to welcome you here this afternoon as we gather to remember the life and service of Michael Broadley, to commend him to the sacred beyond, to tell the story of his life, for he was, by all accounts, an extraordinary individual. And finally, we are here to offer the hugs of a community as a comfort in grief of loss. For those online today or at some time in the future, welcome. If you want to follow along the service at home, if you go to amherstcremation.com, click on services, and underneath memorials, click on Michael's name, and the full program will magically appear before your very eyes. And you can follow along at home, and this will be on the website for a while if you want to go back and check it. For those of you who are following at home, Stephanie will be singing a second song after Laura's reading at the eulogy. So Stephanie will be singing twice, which is our treat today. We are gathered here this afternoon on the lands of the Lekwungen-speaking First Nations, and we live and work and play on the lands of the Saanich, Esquimalt, Tsarasip, Songhees, and Malahat nations. What we do today has been done under these skies and beside these waters from time immemorial, telling sacred stories of who we are in community and sharing what we believe. We are grateful to learn from the deep spirituality of these First Nation neighbors. If you are a praying person, I invite you to pray with me. But if not, let this be a time of memory and gratitude. Eternal God, maker of heaven and earth, it is truly said that to live on in the hearts we live behind is not to die. Michael lives on in the hearts of people who were touched by his personality, his service, and his wonderful music. We are gathered from all corners of the geography of the heart of Michael's life. Relationships here go all the way from children and relatives to friends from the base and other places where Mike's music is still talked about, where soccer stories are still shared, and his family has relationship and community. Each one relationship was unique and differ, and we honor that we all grieve differently, and we honor that too. Today is a day of mixed emotions. It is a day to remember the joys and special memories. It is a day to say goodbye to someone deeply loved, to the family, Michael, James, and Laura and their mother Joanne, Lachlan and Jerome and their mother Shannon, Sydney and Ethan and their mother Marie Pearl. Our prayers, Holy One, and for close family all over the globe who this day suffer and say goodbye as we do, we offer compassion, sympathy, and understanding. Amen. The lighting of candles is a symbol of remembrance and is felt by all of those, not just the candle lighters. Lighting a candle is a long-held practice in many cultures, in many faith and family traditions. The practice is common across international societies and is a most poignant symbol of remembrance. As Michael's beloved family lights these candles before us this afternoon, it is our hope that lighting candles will bring serenity, focus, and comfort to them and those present and those with us virtually. Following the service, the candles will be taken home to be lit on special occasions as a beautiful sign of loving remembrance. Thank you. Our lesson is the beautiful 23rd Psalm. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not be in want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He restores my soul. He guides me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. This too is part of our story. Thanks be to God. And now we welcome you, Stephanie.
So this is who I am, and this is all I know, and I must choose to live for all that I can give, spark that makes the power grow, and I will stand for my dream if I can. All of my faith in who I am. True are my own ways, and I must follow on the road that lies ahead. I won't let my heart control my head. True are my own ways. And we don't say goodbye. We don't say goodbye. I know what I've got to be. Immortality. I make my journey through eternity. I keep the memory of you and me inside. Fulfill your destiny. Is there with me a child? My sun will never end. My fate is on the wheel. King of hearts, the joker's a wild. And we don't say goodbye. We don't say goodbye. I'll make them all remember me. 'Cause I have found a dream that must come true. Every ounce of me must see it through. True are my own way. I'm sorry I don't have a role on life to play. Don't burn my heart, I will find my way. I will make them live to be. Immortality. There is a vision and a fire in me. I keep the memory of you and me inside. And we don't say goodbye. With all my what else would you do? We don't say
Thank you. And now we come to the time where we hear from those who are speaking, which is a tough thing to do today, just to say. And remembering, not trying to educate us about a man as if we didn't know him, but from the heart. And we have Josh and Laura, and then Stephanie will sing again. And I won't interrupt it, and so I'll just let them do that. But following Stephanie is Shannon, and then Andy. And I don't know who you've spoken to, Shannon, or who's listened to you, but let me tell you that Stephanie and Michael sang what she's going to sing for the King, Charles III, and the Queen. So the stakes are high. And we start with Josh. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Stephanie. That was amazing as always. You make the room shine. Good afternoon. My name's Josh Vanderlinden. I first met Michael in 1977 in Cornwallis, Nova Scotia, during basic training. That was a few years ago. We were both young and ready to experience our newfound careers in the military. Who knew that we would ultimately become lifelong friends? The bond formed in basic training continued through the School of Music and still resonates today in this room. Greg Sly, Mike Savage, we all grew. And Carl, I didn't see you there. I can name a whole bunch of people here, but these are the friends that we made when we first joined the military, and they are all very important to us and became family, and they're still family today. The people that we work with behind, you can see them, used to be the Naden Band, the PPCLA Band. These are the people that made our family so important as we speak today. Our time at the school was amazing, to be young and free and feel like nothing other than music and friendship really mattered. Michael and I had a very competitive nature when we played any sport, every event, any competition. He was always better at running, soccer, ping pong, if you can believe that, snooker, and even badminton. But I had my moments with squash, hockey, and even challenging game of darts. Used to kill him in the band room all the time with darts. No matter what the sport, he always gave it his all, just like he did in life. As we know, music was a big part of his life, singing with his sisters and playing music with his dad. The School of Music was a real joy for him, and he excelled in his craft, playing some of the great Canadian Armed Forces, LPs, Tom Vickery, Ed Phelp, Don Cox. You know? After graduation, our paths crossed many times. I went to Calgary, he stayed in Victoria with the Naden Band. A few years later, he was posted to Calgary, where our friendship really grew. He became my roommate, and we rented a 2-bedroom apartment. That was trouble. We always seemed that he was buying the late-night pizza for us from his extra gig money. After several months, we both had gained a lot of weight. So we decided to start running again to get back into shape. That lasted about 15 minutes, which was the time it took us to get from the apartment to our favorite pizza joint. Yeah. Michael married Joanne and had 2 beautiful kids, Michael and Laura. I haven't seen you guys in a while. Nice to see you guys. We spent many weekends camping, hanging out with them, hiking, eating out, playing with their dog, Coda. Wonder how they named that dog, Coda. His most memorable gig in Calgary was leading the Canterbury Royal Band from 4 years straight. I'm not sure if that's the right time, but I know it was a long time. It was a place to go in Calgary to have fun and hear great live music. The adventures and laughs that we had during our time there were amazing. During the many long trips to Wainwright on the bus, he would keep us laughing by reciting Monty Python's Dead Parrot sketch, Dinsdale, and Spiny Norman. He was always a born entertainer. We both moved on from Calgary and ultimately ended up together again in Victoria, where we also got to know Shannon, Lachlan, and Alec. We all know that Michael was an amazing musician, but I remember him for his laughs, the smiles, and the crazy road trips through Australia, Europe, and Canada. Just a small portion of what I wanted to say for the beginning of Michael's life. I've known him for a very long time. And there'll be more stories for the people following me, but Rest in peace, Michael. Thank you for your friendship.
Right. Hi, everyone. I think most of you know me, but if you don't, I'm Mike's daughter, Laura. I just wanted to read a poem that he wrote for me. I was always Daddy's little girl growing up, and in kindergarten, he wrote me a poem, and then most of you know, going in school, you have to say speeches every year. So I actually wrote my very first speech about my dad based off this poem. So I'll read the poem first, and then I'll read the speech that I had to memorize and talk about. Okay. So Laura, I know a girl who is very sweet. She has little hands and little feet. Her hair is the color of summer wheat, and she even plays piano right on beat. Neat. She would never steal or cheat, the smartest girl on her street, a strong voice for one so petite. I remember her birthday, it was such a treat. I waited and waited, sat on a seat, when the nurse brought me a daughter for me to meet. A beautiful gift, I must repeat. Neat. Love, Daddy. Happy birthday. So this was my speech. This poem was written for me by someone very special, my dad. My dad lives in Victoria, BC. He is a musician. I see him at Christmas and in the summer, sometimes more if I'm lucky. Once he surprised me. My mom told me we were picking up a parcel at the bus station. When we got there, my dad was standing there. I felt great. My dad and I do a lot of things together. We play piano duets, read books, go swimming, and watch movies. He makes me happy. When my dad is not with me, we talk on the phone a lot. I tell him everything that I've been doing. Sometimes I write him letters. I think my dad is the best in the world. My dad. I thank you guys all for coming here today. It means a lot to me, and let's just celebrate his life, and yeah, sorry. Love you all.
I invite you all to join along.
L is for the way you look at me. O is for the only one I see. B is very, very extraordinary. And E is even more than anyone that you adore. And love is all that I can give to you. Oh, love is more than just a game for two. Two in love can make it take our heart. But please don't break it. Love was made for me and you. For the way you look, you're looking at me. And O is for the only one I see. V is very, very extraordinary. And D is even more than anyone that you adore. And love is all that I'm gonna give to you. Oh, love is more than just a game for two. Two in love can make it take my heart, but please don't break it. Love was made for me and you. Love was made for me and you. One more
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Shannon. I met Mike in the summer of the Commonwealth Games in 1994. On that meeting, I found him to be a gracious, talented man who exhibited definitely the signs of a man who was sure of himself. Maybe a bit too sure, to say the least. As time went on, we got to know each other. At Commonwealth Games, we went to several gigs over the years. Stereo Mike's was one of the venues he played at, the Smokin' Jackets, and countless other places he would play. We had family parties, background parties, all sorts of things. Life was wonderful. It was musical. It was sometimes, I would think, unbelievable. I remember on one occasion in the backyard, we were all sitting in the back eating, drinking, playing music, and over came the neighbor. The neighbor said, "Mike, hey man, I love your music. I follow you all over the town. But," he says, "I want to go to bed. I got to work tomorrow. Can you shut her down?" And Mike did. "Oh yeah, sure, I'll shut it down." He says, "I'll let you know when I'm playing next downtown." When Mike and I decided to tie the knot, it was an exciting time for me. It was all those things that the bride jitters I got about being a wife, but also came with it as being a stepmom. I confessed my apprehension to Mike. I said, "I'm worried. I don't know, am I going to be a good mom? They have a good mom. But will I be a good mom?" And you know what he said to me? He said, "Oh, don't worry about it. I like you. So will they." Well, how did I do? He was so positive about it. And as time went on, I think I did okay. But that was the start of our melded family, a modern family. Michael, James, Laura. As time went on, Lachlan and Alec. Time, however, brought changes to our lives and challenges. Mike and I took different paths and no longer were aligned. But never once did the love of our children wane. Michael's love of the family continued on and went to include an even bigger family with the addition of Sydney and Ethan, with his marriage to Mary Pearl. Family was constant and remained an important part of his life. But anyone who lives with a person with such beautiful talents will know that it does not come without challenges. And at times, Mike questioned his abilities. While striving always to build his confidence, he still considered or questioned himself as a musician. Yes, it's kind of hard to believe. But in the time with his family and many of you that are here today, you were able to reassure him that he could go on, enjoy doing this beautiful gift the Lord gave him without questioning his abilities the entire time that he is performing. Mike could be high up on a platform in Vimy Ridge and be honored by or meet the late Queen Elizabeth II. You know, he never really was as happy as he was playing in a little pub in the corner of England amongst musicians and friends. Well, his choice was trumpet and bass. He loved to play. And over the years, several tributes over the last maybe couple months even have been organized to say farewell to Mike. And one of them just recently. Down at Herman's, the music started to play, for those of you who were there, it was a Dixieland tune. I could see Mike now. He couldn't stand still, and he would be dancing up there. Well, that tune played. There were trumpets, saxophone, a piano, but there was no drum. As the band continued to play, behind me, at the table, I heard the most infectious laugh bellow out, come from the table behind me, and someone was drumming on the table. I turned. That was my son, Mike's son, Lachlan. I turned to him in total awe, and I said, "My, you're your father's son." The laugh and the potential that any hard surface is a potential drum, and that no sticks are ever needed because your fingers or your hands will do all you need to do. So as long as Lachlan lives and plays drums on his steering wheel as he goes down the road, or just on the dinner table because Mike will live on. While one of Mike's passions definitely was music, life needs a balance. The same love and enthusiasm he had for music was extended to one other sport, and Josh has already talked about a little bit about that, but for those of you, soccer. For one who played the sport with enthusiasm, oftentimes you would end up hearing an outburst, and you probably have all heard this, "Man, shoot, man, shoot!" Or like his dad and his sons before, the Broadley boys loved to play that sport. He was extremely proud of his son, Alec. See, Alec went off to Ontario to play something that Mike always wanted to do. Maybe we didn't reach pro ball, but it was the opportunity for his son, as he did, to live a dream. Maybe not one that's a career, but it was a dream. Mike continues, if we want to talk about his love of sports, was one that I always find totally amazing. At the age of 30, while all of us are thinking about maybe buying a set of golf clubs and slowing down a little bit in life, not Mike. Nope. Mike decided that he wanted to play hockey. He strapped on his skates and learned to play hockey at 30. That's the sportsman that he was. I don't remember if it was whether he was on his way to Vimy Ridge, China, somewhere. I think the only time I ever knew where he was going was when Carl McLean would tell me where he was going, so I could prepare to know that he wasn't going to be home tomorrow. But when Mike would go, he said to me, "If you ever need anything, if I'm playing at Vimy Ridge or wherever, if you need anything, call the old guard." I say the old guard with the most deepest respect. Mike, your old guard is here tonight. Camille Bouchard, Greg Sly, Carl McLean, Don Cox, Josh. They've come here to honor you, along with Stephanie, to support you, to honor you, but to support your legacy, this modern melded family that's in front of me. You know what I was really impressed too is we were all standing around talking about the music. Just so you know, Mike, they never once mentioned a bagpipe in the whole conversation. I know you would like that. But to you, Mike, you should be very proud of your eldest son, Michael James. He's taken the role on seriously as an older brother, and he's trying to guide Alec and Lachlan through life and keeping them focused and finding the right way by using his own experiences to help them on their journey. Laura, oh, your lovely daughter, who, like you, has sand in her shoes, never as happy as when she is traveling, seeing new places, meeting people, and cementing those lifelong friendships. While age and experience may help Michael and Laura on their journeys and adventures, I ask for Lachlan, Alec, Sydney, and Ethan may need you a little longer. You have gone too soon. I ask you to stay close just for a while longer. They may need a little rift or a shoot man shoot, to get beyond some of those little challenges your melded family may meet. For this part of your legacy, for your children, I give a few words of comfort by Nan Wickham. We do not have to rely on memories to recapture the spirit of those we have loved and lost. They live within our souls in some perfect sanctuary which even death cannot destroy. To the performer, the showman, the most importantly, the dad and the friend. Thank you for the great times, Mike. Now I will say farewell because it seems not to be as final as goodbye.
Hi, everyone. My name's Andy Reljic, and Shannon had asked me to say a few words here today. I thought that I'd share the tribute that I wrote for Mike just after he passed last year. Mike Broadley was born in Halifax in 1959, and he was a child number 4 of 6. Mike and his siblings were surrounded by music at an early age, following in the footsteps of their concert pianist grandfather and their multi-talented musical father. They moved to England in 1966 and subsequently lived in Australia from 1970 before coming back to Canada in 1974. Mike graduated high school in Belleville, Ontario, and joined the military at age 17. He attended the School of Music in 1977 and was posted to the Naden Band in 1979. I'd like to point out that I was teaching at the school when he showed up along with Joss and Greg, Michael. There's so many folks here. And when he went to the Naden Band in 1979, he began to unleash his talent. Mike did his first 3-month tour to Australia on HMCS Protector as a bugler and lured the bugle calls on the fly. Apparently there wasn't a book or anything. He just asked somebody to parrot it to him and he had it down. He honed his performative skills by playing solos and singing with smaller ensembles. The Pulp Mills were especially popular, a popular band within the Naden Band. He was posted to the PPCLI Band in 1981, where he ran the stage band and was a featured soloist. In Calgary, he had a house gig at Cannery Road for 10 years and performed with the likes of Harry Connick Jr., Albert Collins, Tommy Banks, to name a few. He influenced several generations of Canadian Forces musicians and was truly an amazing icon in our musical community. He dedicated his life to helping musicians achieve success, and everyone was richer when playing with Mike. In addition to his musical success, he was a tremendous athlete and played soccer throughout his career for many base and international CF teams. He also loved hockey, and we just heard Shannon allude to that, and played in several intramural leagues. In 1992, he was promoted to Petty Officer First Class and posted as the cadet instructor at Royal Roads Military College. He was then posted as a regular support staff to HMCS Malahat in 1994. That's where our paths started to meld again. And 3 years later, the Naden Band was reinstated, and Mike continued to dazzle audiences as a trumpet and vocal soloist. Michael was a respected leader and a fabulous musician who garnered respect from all who played with him. A tremendous soloist, he was featured in many concerts all over the world. He regularly was featured as a vocalist in our concerts and on several Naden Band recordings. He loved playing. A prominent freelancer, he had regular gigs at Herman's Jazz Club with a variety of bands and was a favorite of the owner, old Herman Nyweller. Mike played in a host of civilian gigs on trumpet, bass, drums, and vocals, and would often play all of these instruments with the Stereo Mics, a band with fellow trumpet player Mike Harriott. Both took turns playing the bass while the other played trumpet. He regularly played with Canis, an internationally acclaimed Dixieland band, and the rockabilly group that Shannon had alluded to, the Smoking Jackets and the Capital City Syncopators, to mention a few. He retired in 2018 after nearly 40 years of service and continued to freelance in Victoria. He played a lot of gigs with Stephanie and the Gents. This included Stephanie, Darcy Phillips, and Mikey. When Mary Perrell was commissioned and posted to Ottawa, Mike took a 2-year course at the famous Cordon Bleu Academy where he had graduated with distinction. Mike was in Victoria in the middle of May last year and played a successful Jazz Vespers gig at the James Bay Church with Al Pease, Don Cox, Tom Vickery, and Kelby McNair. His tempos were blazingly fast, and he thrilled everyone with his trumpet and vocals that evening. I was lucky enough to see him a couple of times when he was here last May and had a long lunch with him the day before he returned to Ottawa. After our lunch together, we went out to the street to say goodbye. It was a beautiful sunny afternoon, and we gave each other a big hug. He looked at me and said that he wanted to come back to Victoria, that this was his home and he missed living here. I'd like to share with you a note that I sent to be read to him in palliative care. Mikey, we're all struggling to imagine a life without you. It has been over 46 years since our friendship began, and I've been thinking about all the extraordinary moments we have shared along the way. Hundreds of gigs, hearing Dexter Gordon and Don Menza with Dan Bone on the same night in Toronto, defeating all pool players as the Breda brothers at the Breda Tattoo, to co-writing the Oriole Blues after 10 days at sea with the Naden Dixieland Band. You have enriched my life with your kindness and humor and zest for life. You've inspired everyone fortunate to work with you, and I will be forever thankful to have you in my life. I am grateful that we had lunch together in Victoria a few months ago, where you shared your photos of the trip you and Mary Perrell made to Australia, and your account of your amazing time at the Cordon School. I love you, Michael Broadley, and will cherish every moment we shared together. Mike was a lot of fun to be with, and we loved him. He had a tremendous sense of humor and could tell jokes with ease, often using different dialects and accents, and having everyone doubled up with laughter. He was a great husband, father, brother, musician, and a terrific friend. he will be missed. I need a little bit of help here. I ended with a few stanzas from a tune that he made so identifiable with him, and that was Louis Armstrong's What a Wonderful World. So at the end of this, I'd like us to end it together. So I see friends shaking hands. How do you do? They're really saying, I love you. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. We are blessed to have had you in our lives. Oh, yeah. We love you, Mikey.
She's a line, my pretty baby, 'cause that's what the buffer wants us to do. Take it, Jeffy, yeah! Fancies himself a singer. He wants to sing with our crew. Oh, we heard him on board the Oriole. He should stick with what he can do. I'm cheesing the line. Yes, I'm cheesing the line. I'm cheesing the line, my baby, 'cause we're singing the Oriole blues. Buffer, he's a beauty. Loves to yell and scream. I think he really digs us cats. He's only letting off steam. I'm teasing the lines. Yeah, baby, I'm teasing those lines. I'm teasing the lines, my baby, 'cause that's what the buffer makes us do. Take it, my new boy. The diesel, he's a greasy and oily dude. He says seal sails are wimpy. He prefers to run the screws. I'm cheesing lines. Yeah, I'm cheesing those lines. I'm cheesing the line, my baby, 'cause we're singing the Oriole blues. Shaq's there in the galley. He's cooking on the fry. The skipper throws her in a starboard tack, and he's putting out a fire. I'm cheesing lines. I'm cheesing those lines. I'm cheesing those lines, my baby, 'cause that's what the buffer makes us do. Take it, Mikey. Oh, yeah. 6. But I'm watched from 3 to 6. I won't be having any rum tonight. I'm really in a big time. Yes, I'm cheesing those lines. I'm cheesing the lines, my baby, 'cause we're singing the Oriole Blues. Oh, yeah, I ain't talking no cheddar, no matzo or Gouda too. I'm talking about 3 inches thick and 104 foot 2. I'm cheesing the lines. Yes, I'm cheesing the lines. Yes, I'm cheesing the lines, my baby, 'cause we're singing the Oriole Blues. Skipper's got a private cabin, a shower and head to boot. He loves to see an awesome color when there's 12 or 20 foot 2. I'm cheesing the lines. Yes, I'm cheesing the lines. I'm cheesing the lines, my pretty baby, 'cause that's what the buffer wants us to do. Take it, Jeffy, yeah! Fancies himself a singer. He wants to sing with our crew. Oh, we heard him on board the Oriole. He should stick with what he can do. I'm cheesing the lines. Yes, I'm cheesing the lines. I'm cheesing the lines, my baby, 'cause we're singing the Oriole Blues. Buffer, he's a beauty. Loves to yell and scream. I think he really digs us cats. He's only let him off steam. I'm cheesing the lines. Yeah, baby, I'm cheesing those lines. I'm cheesing the lines, my baby, 'cause that's what the buffer makes us do. Take it on the floor. Runs the diesel. He's greasy and oily too. Says seal sails are wimpy. He prefers to run the screws. I'm cheesing lines. Yeah, I'm cheesing those lines. I'm cheesing those lines, my baby, 'cause we're singing the Oriole Blues. Shack's there in the galley. He's cooking on the fry. The skipper throws her in a starboard tack, and he's putting out a fire. I'm cheesing lines. I'm cheesing those lines. I'm cheesing those lines, my baby, 'cause that's what the buffer makes us do. Take it, Mikey. Oh, yeah. Mix, but I'm watched from 3 to 6. I won't be having any rum tonight. I'm really in a big time.
It was just beautiful. And want to thank Amherst for putting that together, and Amherst and our local McCalls for being with us here this afternoon. McCalls up at Falaise Drive. We read the 23rd Psalm. That's not unusual at a service like this, is it? It contains the image of a table set before us. And that's a lovely image that's been used for a long time. And I kind of want to invite us to think about what we might talk about around that table if it was set for us today. We might take a lesson from some of the things we've heard and realize today is the day to say thank you to the people who are in our life, the friends, the influencers, because we just don't know, do we, what's going to come next. So one of the things about a community service like this is to be expressing gratitude, and we've heard such beautiful things said to Michael. And I just know that that resonates in the heavens for his spirit. But to expand that and to ask ourselves, what else, who else, how else could we say thanks for this amazing gift called life and the extraordinary thing called loving relationships and support within life? People that you meet your first day of school, 1977, down at Cornwallis, and who stay in your life the whole time. These are extraordinary things that we do not take for granted, yet at our peril. That opportunity to say, hey, you know, today I was at the service from this guy I really, really loved. And it made me think of you. And I just wanted to reach out, however the conversation would go. That might be one of the things we say around that table that's created in the image of Psalm 23. We might ask ourselves about the meaning and purpose of a life that we don't get full control over, and the impact of others on us, and how do we honor a legacy that we really want to hold on to. Those would be good conversations to have around the table on a day like today. When I was talking to our Louise Rose, who is our musician here at this church, I talked to her about Michael in the service, and I said, like, what do you know? Because she played with him, of course. And her answer is like this, just absolute spitfire. He was brilliant. He was funny. He knew how to be the people he was with. Witty. She said, I thought of Michael's love of life, how he lived large, how he enjoyed his friends, how much laughter, how much music, and how many other good things, I think that's in air quotes, that he had with his friends as they gathered around the tables of their life. And so keeping one finger in that picture of the Psalms in my Bible, I flipped over to Isaiah. Isaiah is a prophet. He's the one who prophesied that Jesus would come, but it's a different vision. Even in a small congregation or a big congregation, you're not going to find people who all agree what comes next. Some don't know, some don't think so, some have really particular ideas, and those visions change what we believe and hope for, what the next chapter looks like. It changes as we meet new people and experience new things. But here at this place, we agree that there's more. Here at this place, we agree that there's more than what we can measure, what we can see. And you can call that spirituality, you can call that philosophy, or a particular faith that's in your heart. But that it doesn't end when we stop breathing. That somehow, and this is the big mystery, it continues. And so in Isaiah, in his image of what continues, amongst other things, he writes this: on this mountain, the Lord Almighty will prepare a feast of rich food for all people, a banquet of aged wine, the finest of meats and the finest of wines. In that day, they will say, surely, this is from our God. This is of our God. We trusted him. This is the Lord. We trusted him. Let us rejoice. I loved that image. One more table, one more group of people enjoying finest meat. Not a good image if you're a vegetarian, but still. Because when he was at that Cordon Bleu school in Ottawa, it says on their website that Michael had described himself this way. He said, I am an accomplished musician, a respected leader, a natural athlete, and a health enthusiast who explored the world and savored its culinary delights. We know that those people he studied with in Ottawa are thinking of us today. The passion, whether it be for cooking or sailing or playing the trumpet, that passion that elevates our life, that gives it its distinctive flavor, even like a good wine. That passion that separates us out from who we used to be. And that passion that is then shared with others, whether it be down at James Bay United Church on a jazz night, or if it's in front of a foreign country audience a long way away, or just around a table of friends. That passion that separates us. So can we, along with that old guy Isaiah, imagine that there will be a feast somehow, that there is a heavenly band playing absolutely fabulous music right now, that in that band are those like Mike who are now free from pain forever. We started with Psalm 23, and I want to return to it briefly. The picture is painted of a field worker with two implements, a rod and a staff, used to keeping the sheep in line and hooking them back when they're in trouble, the basic tools of the trade. So today we ask a lot of those two tools of the trade. For today, we're asking that the heart continues its process it's been doing for several months of letting go of the physical relationship and entering into one that is spiritual, emotional, held in memory. And so our tools, staff, rod, in the shepherd image, are our philosophy of life. It's whatever it is you believe, today is a day that you can lean on it. It takes part of your weight, like that did going with the shepherd up the hills. And the other is that hook, that staff that we haul in. And so what we're hauling in now is memories, shared stories and individual stories. And in this circumstance, walking on this part of the mountain of life, those two tools, those two implements, are profound, wonderful gifts. And that we might say too, there is a feast beyond my imagining, and at that table, there are wonderful conversations, and we trust this. We trust this for all. Let us pray. Almighty God, you are comfort and strength, however we imagine you, however we know you. We now ask that you would know and love us on the journey on life. Be with us now in this precious, tender moment of memory. And in times of grief and sadness, allowing us to hear the word that it's okay to have tears and to feel the comfort of a spiritual resource beyond ourselves. And in those moments, help us to deal graciously, for each other is carrying burdens we alone cannot see. We give you thanks, Sacred Spirit, for the joy you give us through the relationships and the hopefulness of this life and whatever is to come next. Amen. And now I will let you stand up because it's been a bit of a sit, and we're going to sing along together for our wonderful world. are in the bulletin.
I see the blue, yeah, for me and for you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, yes. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, bright blessed day and the dark sacred night. And I think to myself, yeah, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? There is saying, I love you. I hear babies cry. I've watched them grow. They'll learn much more than I will ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're saying, I love you. I hear babies cry. I've watched them grow. They'll learn much more than I will ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, yes. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
We invite everyone to join in a moment of silence. Let us take a moment to silently honor Michael and pay respect to all who, like him, are remembered this day. Join me for a moment of reflection. instead of the traditional ashes. We use the words of the ancient service, commending Michael to God, earth to earth, ashes to ashes, stardust to stardust. May the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. The rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, Michael, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. Amen. Please be seated.
Arrange my 3 pages. You go ahead when you're ready.
There are coffee and refreshments in the commons this way. Thank you.